Okay, we got a simple visual here with a box with labels on all the sides. So whenever you make something, it starts out in this orientation with the Z minus pointing towards the camera, X plus pointing towards the right, X minus pointing towards the left, and the Y plus pointing up, Y minus pointing down. So they're obviously on opposite sides from each other. So the Z minus points towards the camera or moves towards the camera, whereas Z plus moves away from the camera, right? So as long as you don't rotate the object, it'll stay in that configuration. As soon as you attach that object to another object, that can change though. So for example, I've got a second box. I'm going to attach it to the first box. And if we go in, they're no longer side by side, they are attached. The position of the thing that is attached to the other one is entirely dependent upon where the other one is now. So, whichever one doesn't have something leading from its bottom is your base object, and the orientation of the other object is entirely dependent upon it. So if I go into this and look at its connection points, this says its own connection point is on the bottom of it, Y minus, which is the same label that is on that cube, that the face that's labeled Y minus is on the bottom of the cube, and is connecting to the Y plus side of the other object. So that means the bottom of the first object is connected to the top of the second object, and that's exactly what we've got. They both remain upright and in the same orientation because it happens to be the bottom is connected to the top. But if we change that on this, let's say that we want it to be connected to, or its connection point to be its right-hand side, but we still want it to be connected to this. Think of these two black squares being connected to each other. They rotate, it rotates it, so that the right-hand side of the second box is connected to the top of the first box. So if we go in and look at that, we've got the right-hand side, what was previously the X plus, connected to the top. And that goes for however you want to configure it. So for example, if I want my, let's do Z plus. So so this is the back of the second box is now connected to the right-hand side of the first box. So that means it will rotate and stick on to the thing so that its back is facing that right-hand side of the box and stick on. So go in, and so Z minus is the face that is normally facing the camera, but because the second box got rotated and then stuck over to the side, we've got our Z minus over here because the Z plus side that we specified, go in here and show you that, the Z plus side that we specified is now the part that is stuck to the other box. And again, our base box controls where the thing is in the world, and our connected boxes determine how they are connected to each other. If you connect it to the center, it obviously connects to the center instead. So for example, if I'm taking the center of my second box and connecting it to the right face of our base box, it'll be partway into it because it's connecting to the center of the physical box. And if you said center, then they're connected to each other's centers. That's kind of hard to visualize, but these boxes now occupy the exact same space. It'd be a little easier if we change this to, let's say this is a sphere, and let's make it a little bit bigger, just so that you can see that they are connected center to center. So hopefully that helps. And remember, once you rotate stuff, everything else moves with it. So for example, if we go back here and we set these to whatever, so the right-hand face of the second object is connected to the front of this object, right? So right-hand face, normally the X plus is connected to the front of this thing. If I go in and rotate this base object, let's look at it from above. I'm going to rotate the base object like that. Since it controls where everything else is that's attached to it, the thing rotates with it. So the base object controls where it is in the world. The second object controls how it's connected to the base object. And if you chain other things off, you have to keep in mind. So for example, our sphere here has its X plus face connected to the box. And now X minus to it is right here. Even though that's not X minus to where the world was to begin with, this is what it thinks X minus is. So I would always recommend building your object first. If you're going to rotate your object, build everything first and then rotate it in space once you're done with it. That way you don't have to try and figure out which way your faces are facing.